So welcome back. The second part of introduction to chemistry, we'll be looking at the adverse effects of chemistry and scientific method. Yes, the adverse effects of chemistry and scientific method of because everything that has applications, uses, advantage, we surely have what disadvantages. Okay, so you want to look at the disadvantages of chemistry. What are those things that chemistry has done that is not really good to our environment? Okay, the first thing we'll look at is pollution. Yes, the exhaust from your cars. Well, it should be CO2, but when you don't have the complete combustion, you turns to your CO as your carbon monoxide, that black thing that comes out in the car. Yes, that's exhaust. Okay, that is causes pollution, your spillage, your oil spillage is another type of pollution. When um, our industries they release their waste to the water bodies, is also another form of pollution. Okay, pollution is the first thing. Then the second is drug abuse. Yes, your morphine, your cocaine, your heroin, they are good. Yes, the real sense they are good, but you know, for the profit of it, it's now become a drug addiction and the sell to make money. And you see our youth now, they are addicted to these things. These things are meant to actually help to suppress pain. But anyways, that is where we are. And then the last thing is corrosion. Yes, your corrosion, that is rusting. Yes, and the rusting is called the deterioration of your what of metal by the action of what hair and moisture. Okay, your hair and moisture. So what is your metal? So your metal is basically iron. Okay, so when your water and hair, okay, um, react with your iron over time, then it gets corroded, and we call it what rusting. So that this thing has rusted, meaning the color has changed now to brown. Okay, so your iron 2 is green, then your iron 3 is brown, so it changes to brown. So how can we prevent rust? And we can prevent rusting by what cathodic protection. What do I say? Cathodic protection. Yes, we can prevent rusting through cathodic protection using sacrificial metals. Yes, using sacrificial metals. You can use protective coating. Yes, you can use protective coating, and you can also make use of alloy. So we say that we can prevent rusting through number one, cathodic protection. Yes, application of sacrificial metals. Number three, application of protective coating. And number four, alloy. Fine. So that's that about that. So we quickly go to scientific method. Yes, scientific method. All right, let's go. So what is scientific method about? So as a scientist, what makes you a scientist? What is the first thing that qualifies you to be a scientist? Your curiosity to learn, to observe your environment, to observe changes around you. So possibly you went to a place and or somewhere that you frequently visit or your school environment and you notice there's a change. You observe something. That's the first thing. So when you observe something, what is the next thing that comes to your mind? Begin to question it. So what happened here? What did they paint this thing? You know, these questions coming up. Don't forget, you said the first thing is what? Your observation. So when you start putting up your theory, sorry, not your theory, when you start putting up your questions, asking questions, we call these hypothesis. Yeah, hypothesizing. You're trying to bring up your observation, trying to bring up questions, trying to write out those things that would have caused that's your observation. So you call it hypothesis. And the next thing you do is what? Is your experiment. So you want to experiment on it. If your hypotheses are true or if they are false. So if they are true, you're sure that all your hypotheses are right. But if they are false, what will you do? You go back to modify your hypothesis. But if they are true, then you do another further experiment. Don't forget in your observation, you do your hypothesis, and you do your what experiment. So if after your experiment you find out that what your hypotheses are true, then you do your further experiment. Okay. So from your hypothesis, again, you do your experiment, you get your result because your experiments are true. Okay, then you do your further experiment. So if they are true, like you're right, and after your second experiment, you just go your further experiment, then you say you have what we call it is what we call theory. Yes, what we call theory. But let's say peradventure after your first experiment, the result is false. So what will you do? You modify your hypothesis. Then you go back to your experiment. I will go there. So modify your hypothesis. You go back to experiment. Then you carry out the experiment again. If it is false, you go back to your modification. You modify it and keep going until you get the right thing and it becomes theory. Please, I want to tell us that theories can be modified, but once it is law, it becomes a law. So you state a law. Do you understand? So if you want to ask the question, you will tell me state, state, state. Which one do you want me to state now? State voice law. Okay, the law. State child's law. Okay, but if it's a theory, you can tell me to explain, you can tell me to define, because it is possible that they can be what modified. An example is what Dalton's theory. Okay, that is why you see in Dalton's theory, you have Dalton's theory and its modification. All right, so this is where we will be calling it a day, and let's quickly go through our class for the first topic, introduction to chemistry. So we said we define chemistry, we look at the application of chemistry, the career prospect, the adverse effects, and scientific method. We said chemistry is defined as the composition, um, the properties and the uses of matter, and it's also a branch of pure science. Then we mentioned the career prospect of chemistry, isn't it? We talked about it. We mentioned the teaching services, health services, extractive industry, your agriculture, your petroleum, and so on. Then we look at what's the application of chemistry in food, in housing, in transportation, in medicine, in space, science. Then we look at the adverse effect of chemistry, which is the pollution, the drug abuse, and the corrosion. Then finally, we end with what scientific method. Do have a wonderful day. Bye. Oh, I won't go without giving you assignment. Yes, I won't go without giving you assignment. So, what will your assignment be? All right. Now look at the changes around you, things around you. Just check around, things around you. Yes, things around you. No, things change, right? Yes, things change. So what are those things that you feel they change from one state to another? Let me give you an example. Your water in the freezer, or yes, or in your fridge. You know, it changes from liquid to solid, and when you bring it up, something coming out like gas. Gas. So check around. Look at your wood. Once you burn wood, it changes completely to ash. So something like that. Just go around and check and drop your comments and give me your feedback. Thank you. Bye. See ya.